good afternoon. Mark from the Two Marks and Nigel from purecoys. Nigel, how are you today, mate?
I'm surprisingly okay after the news last night. I'm over it. I'm over it already.
He's
How are you,
over it.
buddy?
It's gone. Sheriff's not here at the moment. He might join us if he gets home. He's down the pub collecting his meat from the meat drawer. Happy days. His sausages in his silver side and whatever it is, his sirloin steaks that he's won in the drawer. Oh, my word. That's him fed for a week. Sorted.
That's it.
Oh, Nige, what are we gonna do? What is going on? What's your thing on this Morgan Gibbs White saga, mate?
It's one of them, isn't it? We were doing a stream last night and we were coming towards the end and it was kind of breaking that they were going to try and, offer him a new contract. But literally, as soon as we came off, within a couple of minutes, he had already signed it. It is what it is. It is what it is. I was gutted last night, but we have to move on, don't we? We cannot.
Yeah.
I want to know what Spurs have got up their sleeve because we need to do something now. We need to do something quickly because we are so short, it's unbelievable. And it doesn't matter how positive you want to be, Spurs always find a way of just bringing you down, don't they? So listen, there is time. We can get players in, but we need to act quickly.
Big up Peter, by the way. Big up Razzle. Hope you're well, mate. Scott M. Hope you're well, fella. Yeah, it's Peter. Hope you're well, mate. Sorry if I didn't say that. Yeah, it's madness, Nige. And like you say, it's got on for the best part of 2 weeks. I feel like, do you know what? I was one of the ones that said, "Oh, don't worry, it'll get sorted. It'll be coming." You know what I mean? Release clause and all that. And obviously, I was wrong. But at the same time, from what I'm reading, he was sort of on 60 grand a week. We've offered him sort of 120 grand a week. And obviously the release clause and all that. And he signed a new contract nearer 200 grand a week, which makes him way and beyond their best paid player at the club. You know what I mean? And it makes me feel like, was he angling for it, Nige? From the start, was his agent? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see?
Gives me that feeling.
Did you see the Sky Sports interview though?
No, I've been
With
out, mate. Tell me
Gibbs
about
White.
it.
So Gibbs White literally on the pitch after a friendly, obviously speaking about it, and you had Marinakis literally stood next to him, and it was almost like he's still being held hostage. Because yes, he's probably got a good deal, but I don't know. It's just a weird interview, I thought. But like I said in my video earlier, something just doesn't add up because we triggered the release clause apparently,
Yeah.
but Morgan Gibbs White has never come out, as far as I'm aware, and said he wants to join Spurs. Tottenham have never made any official complaint against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, though they threatened to, never officially made any complaint about Spurs.
Yeah.
Something just don't add up. It's almost like either Spurs have done something wrong and didn't want to admit it, or it was all just a ploy just to get a larger contract at the end, which he's done. So my anger's not so much at Morgan Gibbs White as at Spurs for just faffing around.
Yeah.
We should be onto other targets by now.
Yeah. And like we've said in previous streams, Nige, the club should have been looking at other options rather than what it seems like. I don't know, maybe he'd give his word or something. Who knows? Who knows, Nige? No one knows today. But,
no.
We've got to be looking, or we should have been looking and getting other targets in before we were going on the tour this week, to get them in, give the new manager a chance, let him mould a few of these players in with what he's got and see what was going on. But it just don't look like that's going to happen, Nige. And it looks like it's the same old Spurs, isn't it, in a transfer window, mate?
It changes, does it? It's the same every single season. The last 2 years has been the worst that I can remember for bringing players in, for not bringing the right quality in. And for me, that all goes down to one man, and that's not Levy, that's Lange. He's the one who's been brought in to bring the players in, and there was a reason Villa fans were celebrating when he left. Villa was 17th when he left, and look at us now. We're 17th. Villa are fighting for Champions League, and I know we got into Champions League, but it says to me that this Lange guy is not the man. He's not the recruitment guy we should be having, and yeah, I worry. I worry while he's in charge. I think he should be the first name to go, to be honest, because I'm embarrassed by what's happened
Yeah.
with Gibbs White.
Me too, mate. Yeah, totally embarrassed about, just the way it's been dealt with. Do you know what I mean? No one knew anything. Everyone was playing guessing games. And then all of a sudden, it's just like we've been duped. It's like Marinakis has got one over on Levy. Do you know what I mean? It's what it feels like. And, since we were told, the release clause has been triggered and all that business, all we get quick getting told was, yeah, it'll get done. And we've been mugged off, mate, haven't we? At the end of the day.
Yeah. And no one seems to know what's been going on, did he? Even the best journalists, they don't seem to know. They seem to have been confident the entire time that it's going to get done eventually. And, there's not a lot Forest can do about it. But we don't know the ins and outs. Was his clause even reached? We just don't know. It all feels a bit fishy to me.
Yeah. Well, like you said, Nigel, there's not a lot we can do about it now. He's signed a new contract. He obviously didn't want to come that badly. I think that he never put a transfer request in. He never pushed it. I was sort of backing the fella a bit because of his private life problems with his missus' pregnancy and all that. So I could understand maybe why he didn't want to push, but there was never an inkling, was there? There was never anything that came out and actually said, as it was wearing on, that he would be coming. Do you know what I mean? And it's just died a death. Nothing else coming in, and not that we know of. So where do we go from here, Nigel? Let's forget it now. He's gone. He's a Notts Forest player. There's nothing we can do about it. What are Tottenham Hotspur? What are you expecting from Tottenham Hotspur now that deal is not going ahead?
Well, I'm expecting for Spurs to move quickly for other targets. Realistically, we're probably not going to sign anyone before we go on tour. But I'm expecting us to do something. We should have been, as soon as that news broke last night, everyone should have been in the office first thing this morning, working on other deals, getting other deals ready, doing something. Because we need to move fast now. We're going to be going on tour with one first team player, bought in Kudus. And I feel sorry for Frank. I really do.
If there's no more incomings coming, Nigel, he's just been left out of Swanee, isn't he? To be quite honest with you.
Might as well get Lange.
He's obviously going to coach him. Do you know what I mean? He's going to have his style and whatever. And like we said, I think players will improve. You can't really take too much from the friendlies yesterday. It was a mishmash of both teams. I do believe we should have won both games. We should be beating League One opposition when you've got 5 or 6 of your first team squad. Do you know what I mean? Mixed between the two. And it was pretty poor, to be quite honest with you. There were some bits and pieces. Do you know what I mean, Nigel? But the simple stuff, we're still not doing the simple stuff properly. From what I saw yesterday, anyway, the bits and pieces that I saw.
No, it is difficult, and it is pre-season. A lot of these players, that would have been their first game. So that would have been Tao's first game. Mm-hmm. I know a couple of others, it would have been their first game as well. It's hard to judge too much. It's going to take Frank a little while on the training ground to get his methods across. So listen, friendlies don't really bother me too much. It's nice to see a bit of a performance, but I'm sure as the weeks go on, we will improve. For me, it's more the squad, the lack of depth that we have. And it was a Champions League season, so we need quality. and we are so far off it at the moment.
Yeah, I agree on that. With the friendlies that we've had so far, the lower league teams that we've played, I can get on board with you with that, Nigel, and I understand that he's still got to, implement his philosophy, if you like, however he's going to play, and the different ways that he's going to play football. I get that, but there's three. Is it three? Arsenal, Newcastle, Bayern. Yeah, three big games. Even though they're friendlies. Yeah, I get that, and there's going to be all the sides will be, big changes at half time or whatever, probably, and all that sort of stuff. But I am worried, mate. I've got to say, I am worried that we go into these 3 games as friendlies, mind. I can take getting beat, Nige, as long as we sort of put half a shift in. But I'm worried that we could get a tonking in a couple of these games. And it don't set the right, what's the word, Nige, the right tone for going into Burnley in 2 or 3 weeks' time. Do you know what I mean? That bothers me, because you know what it's like now. I know teams lose friendlies. Do you know what I mean? And then they can start in the Premier League, bang, 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 bang. Flying. But you're not talking about playing mug teams here. Arsenal, Newcastle are fair still.
No.
They're a very fair side. And then Bayern Munich, man, we got to pull our finger out of our asses somewhere along the line. And we've got injuries as well, Nige. We've got injuries as well.
We have already. Yeah. Hopefully, all of the injuries we got are only minor. Hopefully, touch wood.
Yeah.
I kind of agree, but I kind of disagree as well. I think I'm in a situation where friendlies for me, it's nice. It's nice to win, but for me, it is all about just getting his philosophy across. If it means we get beat 3 or 4-0 in a couple of games, sure, it's going to be disappointing. But I'd rather do it now than later on in the season. I feel like we're going to start slowly anyway, because Frank has a habit of starting slowly. I don't think it's going to click straight away. But there was an interesting moment yesterday in the friendly against Wickham. I don't know whether you saw it. I don't know whether it's halftime or full time, when Frank and Romero were talking.
Yeah.
And it looked like they're both pointing. So obviously, like, Frank was trying to get his point across. Romero maybe not quite understanding, and I think that will take a while to come. So I'm not too fussed yet. But ask me that question in 2 weeks' time if we've lost to all of them, and I might feel differently. But
we may not do. I don't mean to sound negative on it. You know what I mean? We could go. You never know what happens in one-off games of football at the end of the day, Nigel. Some teams turn up, other teams don't. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just a bit worried. We're going with basically the same squad. We're bloated as anything, the squad. How we're not getting more players out quicker, even if it's on loan, so that at least we can try and get some in. Because, like we said the other day, big clubs, they'll get the players that they want, then they'll release or loan or sell or whatever the players that they don't want or that the manager doesn't want. But Tottenham don't work like that. We want to sell them first, get a bit of money, whatever it is, and then try and go and buy a player with that. Do you know what I mean? And if you want to be a big club, you can't work like that, mate. You can't work like that.
No, and by the time that we've sold the players, most of the players that we would want, certainly as fans, have gone. So we are... Listen, there are plenty of good players around Europe that we could get quite easily. But I think I heard it on Sava's show earlier that, obviously we paid, 35-40 million for Tau.
Yeah.
When I think they were saying Matoma's release fee from Brighton is like 50 million euros or something for a European team. And, it just doesn't make no sense. Go and get Matoma. Why would you waste money on Tau? But it's what we do. We just got to hope that we can bring in a couple of quality players now over the next couple of weeks. But I am concerned. I'm really concerned about this window. And more than anything for me, I want to go into these friendlies looking forward to seeing players.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to seeing Gibbs White in a Spurs shirt. Now I just, Spurs on the telly is like, oh, just the same players we saw last season. It just doesn't excite me at all at the moment.
Yeah, the thing with the Tell deal was as well, Nigel, it was easy for him to do, wasn't it? No money changing hands. Bayern owed us a few quid. I think they still do owe us a little bit. Do you know what I mean? but it was an easy deal for him to do. You know, and we were the mugs that have gone and spent, well, I say mugs. I'm not keen on him, but he's only a youngster. And again, like you said, different manager in now. I think you've got to give all of them, you know, a chance to a point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Razzle, I know, mate. I know it's madness. And when you think now what you could have got for that 240, I'll take kudos, by the way. I'll take that. But the other three, sorry, you know what I mean? It's like, well, what we doing with that other 185 million quid? Do you know what I mean? It's mad. Yeah. Have you seen anything, Nige, about any rumours or anything about anyone that may be coming, centre midfielders, or any other news about anyone?
I haven't really. Harvey Elliott again being linked.
Yeah.
He seems to be the main one. Apparently, we are talking to his representatives, but Liverpool are talking to quite a few clubs regarding him. So again, he's another one. If we want, we got to move quickly. But you know, are we going to do it? Obviously, the Eze rumours are floating around again. A lot of fans just being like, "We'll just go for Eze again." But he's made it clear that he kind of wants Arsenal. So I don't know.
He'd come to Spurs. If he was coming to Spurs, he'd have come before, wouldn't he? When we went in for him,
you would have thought so. But have we actually ever gone in for him?
Well, I say gone in for it. All right, I'll put it a different way, Nigel. When he knew we was after him, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'll put it that way. You know, he knew that Tottenham wanted him. That was beyond doubt. Whether we actually made the bid or not, because the terms changed, didn't they, Nigel, at the end of this season?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. We could get him on two installments, but for me, and I know he's got maybe Arsenal in his head because he's an Arsenal fan, but for me, if you really want a player, Arsenal apparently now have to sell before they can buy because they spent so much money, apparently.
Yeah.
So the Eze deal might happen, but it's going to happen later on. If you're a proper club, if you're a big club, you go, right, okay, Eze, we'll give you what you want. We'll give you 200 grand a week. Let's get it done. Get him in. Money talks. If you really want him that badly, go and get him.
I still think, Nige, they're still trying to slim the wage bill down from the top enders. You know, with Sonny maybe going, that's 200 grand off the wage bill. If they can get Richarlison out, whatever he earns, 100 and something grand a week, whatever it is, they've got Werner off the wage bill already. He's gone. Just them three on their own. Do you know what I mean? Just those three on their own is half a billion quid, isn't it? Is it? Oh, I've got that wrong.
Something like that is crazy. Maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe we're going to wait until after the tour when Sonny goes, if Sonny goes.
Yeah.
Get him off the wages. Maybe get a Richarlison, a Basuma off the wages.
Yeah.
And then go. But by then we haven't integrated them into the squad, and we are, you know, as a fan base, then we can't expect to start the season smashing teams, playing great football. So we're just not going to. We're going to have new players coming into the team that don't understand the system, don't understand the way Frank wants to play. And it's going to take us another 6-7 weeks to get up to speed. So for me, these players should be in now. But, you know, like I say, you want to be positive. This season, I want to be positive. Last season was horrific for supporting Spurs in the league because we are so bad. This season, I want to come on the streams and be like, oh, what great football, what a great player.
Yeah.
But Spurs have done it to us again. It's just like, come on, do something.
Yeah, it's true, Razzle. It's not just about the football at the end of the day, is it? People have got families, you know. Some players' wives might not want to move from one end of the country to the other, or from another country to this country, or whatever it might be. There's lots of, I suppose the word to use is intricate detail that goes into a footballer's contract, you know, to make sure that all sides are happy, if you know what I mean. You know, what's Thomas saying here? Big up, Thomas. Don't want anyone further in players. Buy Spanish and Europeans, Americans. Look at Liverpool and City, who win leagues. Yeah. That's a fair point, mate. And the thing is, Thomas, is right. You know, we've got scouts all around the world. Yeah, it's not just like they're in England or in Spain or wherever. They're everywhere, Asia, all over the place. And me and Nigel and Mark have had this conversation before. You ain't telling me there's players out there in the Levy budget, if you want to call it that, for what he wants to pay, for what he wants to pay in wages. Yeah, just because some of them might be at unfashionable clubs, it doesn't mean they're crap. A lot of players are on the way up, and it's up to our scouts to find these players. Yeah, and either bring them into the club, do whatever it is. Don't necessarily have to be young. They could be 23, 24, 25. Levy ain't going to sign players, loads of players that are 28, 29. I know Solanke was what, 26 when he signed? Was he 27? I
think so. 26, 27, yeah.
Something like that. I think that's about Levy's limit, isn't it? Because he knows he can give a 3 or 4 year contract. Yeah, that takes them to when they're 32. Hopefully they've had a good time. And then he sells them on for whatever he can get. But I think Solanke's here for the long run, because no one's paying 65 million quid for Solanke, are they, to get him out? No one's paying 60 million for Richarlison. So somewhere along the line, he's going to have to take a bit of a hit on them, isn't he? Unless they just end up staying here with us, Nige.
Well, that's what we do, isn't it? We take a hit on every player. I can't remember a player that we've actually bought that we've made a profit on, bar, we're going back to Bell, maybe, of course. Harry Kane was one of our own anyway. But, every other player we seem to buy, we seem to end up losing out on. Big up, Rich.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. We hold on to players for far too long. The time has to come. So we were saying, you give a player a 5-year contract, so he's been with you for 5 years, and then, for argument's sake, he might, like Sonny's contract, he had an option of another year, didn't he? Right?
Yeah.
To me, don't give him that option. Then sell him on, get a little bit of money for him. You paid whatever it was, 22, 23 million quid or whatever it was to Dortmund for him. He's been an absolute servant while he's been here. He's made you multi-million pounds in shirt sales around the world. And don't get me wrong, in his little he probably gets a little bit of that. Do you know what I mean? But the time has to come. So at some stage, if you get that player and you can see he's on the decline, and even if you can get your money back, do you know what I mean? Which to be fair, at times I've seen deals go by. Like, who would have thought that Leicester would have paid 20 million, whatever it was, for Winks or Skip? And do you know what I mean? But they go on, Nigel.
Sorry, I was going to say Razzle's got an absolutely brilliant point. It's like, we won't even sell Jill, I bet, this window. Brian Gill, what do we spend on him? 25 million, was it, plus Lamella?
Yeah, it was a lot of money for him.
This is a kid that's hardly played for us, and we still can't sell him. Every season he goes out on loan.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. We're I don't know how to describe it really, Nigel. The more you think about it, and where we are now, it's just all a mess, isn't it? It's just an absolute mess. The transfer stuff, the size of the squad now, lots of young players. That's fine. But if you're going to keep your young players, then you need to ship out your mid-average players. If you want to develop them young ones and bring them into the team slowly, if that's their plan, there's somewhere along the line, they've got to get rid of them sort of mid-players, haven't they, Nige?
Well, yeah, and the thing is...
How do you do it if no one wants you? If no one wants your players?
No, and the thing is, if you're bringing in so many young players, big up Tweak, if you're bringing in so many young players, we know as fans, we don't work for Premier League clubs, of course, but if you bring in 8 players of a young age, under 20, say, that probably only 2 of them are probably going to make it. The other 6 that go by the wayside end up being sold.
Yeah.
So we're taking a massive risk on signing young players that half of them probably won't even make the grade. And for me, I just think the recruitment's all wrong. And we are stuck with players who we've spent a lot of money on that aren't that good. and we're going to have to hope that teams from Saudi or somewhere like that come and pick him up. That's my hope for Richarlison, is that he goes Saudi.
I think they might get 2 or 3 out, Nige, but and a few loans. There's still whatever there is 5 weeks, but excuse me. I just can't understand why Spurs are why they have to leave it so late all the time. Is it because they're trying to get a deal? Do you think they've got an eye on sort of some players, and they're almost waiting to see who picks up a certain level of player? Do you know what I mean? And then when it gets to the last 2 weeks of the window, oh yeah, he ain't gone. He should be going to wherever. Let's put a cheeky one in, see if we can, get him down the Spurs on the cheap. That's almost what it feels like, Nige, that we're going to try and do.
Possibly. Yeah, it's almost like they haven't made a plan at all. It is literally just flying by the seat of the pants and be like, let's see what's available late on. We've got a plan A, Morgan Gibbs White. That doesn't work. Shit, what are we going to do? We'll just hang out to the end of the window, see who's available, and I'm sure we'll pick someone out because, like you say, it's almost a snowball effect, isn't it? Someone moves from one club, and then people start changing hands, and maybe that's what we're waiting for. But I think I guarantee we will end up with a Garnacho, someone like that, and a Hayden Hackney. It will be, we'll come to the end of the window and we'll be like, we haven't really brought anyone in of much quality at all. That's my feel.
Yeah, I'm similar to you, but I get the feeling that we just, you can call them mid-player. They're not mid-players. I don't think Garnacho's a mid-player. He just needs a lot of coaching. He's technically very good. He's quite talented. I've said before, he's got a bit of an attitude on him. Some of it I like, some of it I don't. But I don't think Garnacho signing is, going to take you anywhere on his own coming in with just him and Kudos. Do you know what I mean? Or like you say, Hayden Hackney coming in, someone like that. But again, Nigel, I know he's done it. He's doing all right at Middlesbrough, Hayden Hackney. But would Hayden Hackney, in a sense, remind you of it being, you go and spend 25, 30 million, whatever it is on Hayden Hackney, right? Does it then feel that that's another Archie Gray signing? To a point.
Yeah. So I think I said it before. He should have been the player we brought in last season instead of Archie Gray.
Yeah.
Hayden Hackney. And again, I said it earlier on a different stream. I'd be happy with Hayden Hackney if we had brought in a Morgan Gibbs White, or if we brought in a Vlahovic or someone like that, someone of that ilk, more of a big name, someone that moves the needle. I don't know, Hayden Hackney coming in at 23 years old. You think, okay, yeah, he's done it in the Championship. There's no reason why he can't do it in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But we've already got those established players that we brought in that go straight into the first team.
Yeah.
I think if we bring in a Hayden Hackney and that's it, for me, that's another poor window.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Nige, I think if Tottenham do not pull their finger out over the next 5 weeks, right, we could get extremely embarrassed in the Champions League. I know we don't know the draw yet. I know we don't know who we're playing. But if the draw went wrong and it was a tough draw, do you know what I mean? To qualify out of it, to get into the group knockout stages,
Yeah.
Again, I just don't want to see us getting hammered, mate. I don't want to see us getting hammered. And we've got, listen, he's got to bring quality. He can't not do anything, Nige. That the people upstairs, apart from Lang and Levy, are all new people. Surely they've got to be, like you said, looking for players that move the needle. What was the point of trying to win the Europa League to get in? Well, I know why, because it's all about the moolah. Do you know what I mean? But why go into the Champions League? You get your moolah, but your team gets battered out of sight. Do you know what I mean? By other teams that you're playing that are just at a different level to you. I feel like we're going to have to lift our level high up as far as we can, just to get to the average level of what these teams are, like on a specific night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I honestly don't think Levy gives a toss about that. I think he saw the fact we were failing terribly in the league last year.
Yeah,
He saw the Europa League as our only chance of silverware and a chance to get into the Champions League.
yeah,
And I think he's happy that we're in the Champions League. Obviously, he gets the money. I don't think he's got any interest in actually doing well in it. I think he'd be quite happy to go out in the league stage because he gets his money. And, for him, it's just an added bonus this season. I don't think he's got any intention of like really pushing the boat out to make us that club that actually could go far. And it's disappointing because a couple of weeks ago,
yeah.
we thought we'd signed 2 players. We had all this about the takeover, about possible investment. Everything was looking fantastic and rosy, and now we're back to square one.
Yeah, man. It's a bit soul destroying, Nigel, isn't it? It is just soul destroying, and I think all the fans just need a bit of news, a bit of an uplift after the MGW saga, But I just don't think Levy's going to pay the wages, mate, to get those quality players in, Nigel. To me now, he did what he did last season when he got rid of the Hoibergs and all those type of players. Then there's sort of what is there? What have we got? 4 or 5 players on over 100 grand a week? Is it or more than that? I can't remember. Whatever it is, anyway, he's brought the wage bill down, and I just get the feeling he's going to try and carry on bringing it down. And if you're going to do that, you're not going to get the players in that you need. And forget the Champions League, mate. We're talking about struggling in the Champions League. I'm not saying we're going to be 17th again, but it could be tough. Again, a tough watch,
But this is the thing, though. Again, this is what's so frustrating. Yes, it would have been nice to have that player that stayed at Forest. I'm not going to mention his name anymore. But for me, we don't need to be spending 200,000 a week on players. If we recruit right, our recruitment is so lazy. I think we could probably do the same sort of recruitment. Oh, who do you like? Oh, let's watch a bit of Premier League football. Morgan Gibbs White, he's good. Let's bring him in.
Yeah.
There's got to be players all over Europe that we could probably bring in for 25 million euros, pay them 80 grand a week.
Yeah.
That could do a better job than the players we got now.
Yeah. Nigel, I agree. There's loads of players out there, Nigel. It's just about identifying them, identifying the qualities in them that we need in our team. And even if those qualities are not quite there, as long as they've shown, more than shoots, obviously, more than green shoots, you want them to be good players and you want them to have shown something wherever they are. Look at this. How much is this Calamundo geezer we was talking about? He was like, they want, 30 million for him, something like that? What that sort of deal?
Yeah, 30 million euros. Again, I mean, listen, I'm not going to profess that I watch a lot of French football, but from his YouTube clips, he looks decent. A lot of people I speak to say he's a really good player. He's exciting. He scores goals. What are we waiting for then? If he's the kind of player that we're looking for, he looks very much like, from watching him, a player that would do well at Brentford. A Wissa type player, a kind of Umbuemo. Quite powerful.
Yeah.
So surely he'd fit in Frank's system. So why aren't we going for players like that?
I don't know, mate. You got this young lad, Arden Jashari as well. Word's been going about him. I know that I don't think Paulini is dead by any stretch. No. That keeps getting rotated and rotated. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, as much as chairman don't want to deal with Levy, Bayern Munich did. Yeah, they dealt with Kane. They've done the deal with Tell, which I'm sure they're quite happy with that deal by Munich. Do you know what I mean? So you ain't telling me that they can't go in and get a player that's already played, in the Premier League. So we know what he can do. We know, I'm sure he knows if he came to Spurs or wherever he is, what's expected of him. And for 30 million quid, I don't know what his wages are. I'm not going to profess to know. You know, I would imagine he's on a fair chunk, but surely we can match it at least and give him a little
Not
bit
even
more.
just we don't even need to buy. I know Munich would prefer a sell, but
Yeah.
how much did we give them for Tau? We give them 10 million, did we, for a loan fee?
Yeah,
You know, give them 8 or 9 million for a loan fee for him for a year. Do the same with Grealish.
yeah,
You know, let's get some quality, and even if it's just for a year, just to tide us over until the players that maybe Frank actually really does want
yeah.
become available. Maybe we're just getting desperate at the moment, but I just feel we're getting left behind by other teams, and we need to move. We need to move quick. Do you see us signing any players while we're on the tour?
The only way I can see him signing anyone while we're on the tour is if we've made contact with someone and then the deal sort of moves forward. Do you know what I mean? You know, as far as, you know, whoever's dealing with it upstairs, Lang, Vinay, whoever it is, Levy, whoever it is, as long as they can pull their finger out, if they're, you know, like you say, who did you say it was earlier? We spoke to someone's representatives, but they're speaking to
Elliot.
other people. Yeah, could be the same for Paulinia. I'm sure there's more than just us that are interested in either taking him on a deal for a couple of years or getting him on loan. You mentioned the other one for me, Jack Grealish. Yeah, he's on 300 grand a week. All right, strike a deal up for a year. Strike a deal up. I'm sure if you went to City and said to him, look, we'll pay half his wages, yeah, that's freed up 150 grand a week for them, which in the grand scheme of things, you know, being owned by a mega zillion pound, you know, backed state, that it doesn't mean a lot to him in the grand. But if they can get him out with an option, for argument's sake, with an option to buy, on loan, that's freeing up another space for them in their squad for them to get more quality in. But for me, Jack Grealish is the type of player that we need to be going for. He's a winner. Whatever you might think about him, he didn't do a lot last year. He's a winner. He's won a treble. He knows how to win, and he was instrumental in that treble as well. You know, very, very, very good player. We spoke about it again last night. Dusan Vlahovic. Yeah, he's on whatever he's on. Sweeten the deal. We know you want to. You know you want to keep what it says on the wage thing. Sweeten the deal. You know, make
I don't
his wages up elsewhere, Nige. You know,
exactly. If we were to bring in an Elliot, a Polinia, and a Grealish, just those three, even if we got two of them on loan and spent 35 million on Elliot, all three of them, all of them winners. You know, Elliot's won trophies at Liverpool, Grealish obviously at City, Polinia at Bayern Munich. Three winners straight in our first team.
Yeah, go straight in, Nige, don't they?
Yeah,
go straight in. And this is why we was talking about it's so important to make sure that you haven't got 11, 12 or 13 or even 14 that will go straight in. We need 22 players plus, that basically covers. It's the same for every team, that covers all positions, pretty much all positions. Like we're saying, left back, all right, Jed Spence can cover with a doggy, but we need a left back. We need a proper left back to make a doggy raise his game. Do you know what I mean? Make these players fight for their places.
Exactly. That's what we need more than anything. And, you know, an Anthony Robinson would be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because for me, you know, you can take your pick on either of them then playing, you know. But imagine if we signed a Polinia, and then I think you said it a couple of days ago, you know, I forgot his name. Who's the young Archie Gray? Archie Gray learning off Polinia for a season, 2 seasons, even playing alongside him a couple of games.
Yeah.
You know, how much would Archie Gray get from that?
Oh, mate, it's like having your own personal coach, mate, isn't it? I'm not being funny, because it's not just about on the pitch, Nige. You know, you think, about him learning just on the pitch. It's in training. It's, you know, when they're warming up in the morning and having a little chat and he's telling him, and it's all little bits that just sink in. And I know you have to put that into practice later on. Do you know what I mean? But it's a learning curve at the end of the day. And either you get someone like Polinia in, if you're seeing in a year's time that Archie Gray is not developing in any way, shape, or form, in that position, when someone of that ilk, that's been about a bit, is trying to, you know, guide someone, then obviously that player ain't for you, mate, at the end of the day.
No, agreed.
But you know, same for Bergvall, we were talking about. Get a proper centre midfielder in. Bergvall's got talent. Frank will coach him, but you also need someone there, you know, that's been about a bit, that can, I don't know, sometimes just get him to slow down a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Bergvall seems to me that he's got to learn at the moment. I like what, you know, his touches on the ball. You can see he's got that touch. He's got that crossfield pass. He's like everyone else at the moment, can't pass a ball 5 yards, right? They just can't do it. He works hard, right, Bergvall? He's got the touch. He's got the technical ability. For me, he just wants a little bit too much time on the ball sometimes, But when you get someone in, whether that be Thomas Frank that's, you know, educating him a little bit, and this is just my opinion, by the way. There's people in the chat that might think Bergvall's the best fling since sliced bread. You know, that's just what I see. You know, when I'm watching him, I'm thinking, you're a talent. You're only young. You're going to improve. Let's get someone about, that can guide you. And it's the same for Bergvall as it is for Archie Gray. You know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But it's going to be difficult for Frank, mate. If no one comes in, Nigel, I'm like you, mate. I'm a bit scared for it, to be honest with you. I've got to be honest, because you know, new manager playing new styles against top teams in friendlies, then in 3 weeks' time, 3 weekends' time, whatever it is, away they go, home to Burnley, mate, and it all starts. You know,
and imagine the meltdown if we lose at home to Burnley opening game. You know, it's
I don't know. You know, I've watched a few streams, you know, and it is right. It is about getting your legs back again. Do you know what I mean? Those two friendlies yesterday, I get what he's about. I don't take too much from what I saw, but at the end of the day, like I said earlier, we should be beating them teams, even if we're not anywhere near our best. You know, and I know they're probably further forward in their pre-season training, because they kick off a couple of weeks next weekend. They kick off, don't they? I think.
No, actually, possibly, start of August.
You know, but we'll see, Nigel. We'll see, man. We'll see. But anyway, let me change subject. People, I know most of you probably have, but please get over and sub to Nigel at purecoys. I think, have you just gone over 900, Nigel?
Just gone over 900, yeah.
Just gone over 900. Nigel's on the way to 1,000. I think we're on about 470-ish. So we're about 30 short from 500. So if you haven't subscribed to either of the channels, please do. We're doing our best to get the content out there, even though there's not a lot to talk about, but it gives everyone a bit of chill time on a Sunday afternoon, mate, just to get it out of our system a little bit. I think so many people are so frustrated, Nigel. So frustrated.
Yeah, especially after what happened. You know, yesterday was a bad day. Obviously, the football wasn't great, drawing both our games. And then Arsenal signing Gyökeres, you know, presenting him in front of everyone was a bit of a kick in the teeth. And then obviously what happened with Morgan Gibbs-White later on in the evening. And I think we're all just at the point was just like, come on, Tottenham. You know, this is, even the most positive fan now are now starting to be like, oh, what are we doing this window? This isn't good. So, like you say, there is 5 weeks still to go. You know, it might be a case that we do all our business right at the end of the window. And I guess as long as we get the right players in by the end of the window, it's okay. It's just, as a fan, I'd like them in sooner. to be integrated with the squad. But it is what it is. If we have to wait till August 31st, then so be it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because it's my birthday on Thursday night, and we've got Arsenal.
Yeah, so it could be a really
You know
good
what I
or
mean?
really bad birthday.
Yeah, so it could be a bit of a shite birthday. Hopefully, we can be on 1-0, but I doubt it because we just don't score goals at the moment, do we? Not like we should be anyway. You know, especially in
No,
them
it'd
two
be
games yesterday. God, I know we got 2 against Wickham. Don't get me wrong, Papa Sarr, but in
yeah.
that Luton game, we didn't really look like we were going to do anything nice, did we?
Didn't really create anything, did we? I think we had one shot from Kudus, was unlucky. Apart from that, didn't really do too much. But again, it is pre-season. We had a couple of injuries. Hopefully, Solanke will be back for the Arsenal game. You know, I'm hoping that maybe we might have a new signing come in before then as well. And listen, you know, Arsenal have hardly started well in their pre-season either. I think I'm not sure whether they lost, but I know they went 1-0 down against Newcastle. Don't know what the final score was, as anyone in the chat knows. But yeah, listen, there isn't, you know, Liverpool got smashed the other day, didn't they? 4-2. So it is pre-season. It would be nice to get a win for your birthday, but yeah,
Mm.
I'd
Would
much rather take a win in the league against Arsenal than a friendly win.
Yeah. What do you think of this comment from Norm Nige about Nicholas Jackson? You know, is he a level up from Richarlison and Solanke?
No, not for me. Not for me. And Nicholas Jackson, no, I just don't rate him. I think he is very much hit and miss. I think at
Yeah,
times he can look really good.
yeah.
Seeing him playing, he's like, oh, he's half decent. That's a really good finish. Oh well.
Thanks, Razzle.
Um,
Cheers, mate.
yeah, cheers, Razzle. Yeah, he looks decent at times, but other times he looks really erratic. For me, he is maybe a slight improvement on Richarlison, but then I'm even pushing it. You know, I think Richarlison's better in the air than Jackson.
Yeah,
No, Jackson, not for me. I don't know what you feel about him.
probably not. Probably
A lot
not,
of money
mate.
as
For
well.
me. Yeah, I don't know what sort of money he's going to command, mate, Jackson. But oh, mate, listen, Nigel. I think we've just got to. We're at the point now where we've just got to wait and see if anything turns up. Hopefully, you know, hopefully they get a couple of quality bods in before the end of the window. I don't want to see no average, meh, whatever you want to call it, signings coming in. We've got enough of that. We've got enough of that. Thomas Frank's got a massive job to lift some of these players and get them back playing to their full potential again. You know,
Yeah.
but we'll see, Nige. Yeah, Nige, got anything else you want to chat about? We've done about 50 minutes. I don't want to tear the backside out of it, mate. Because we spoke about it loads.
No, very much just like what you said. Just hopefully now we bring in some quality. I think we will. Whether they're the quality we want, I don't know, but I think we will bring at least 2 or 3 in.
Yeah,
I just love to see us bring what you want as well as for the players when they walk into the change room to be like, oh my God, we've signed him, you know?
yeah,
And I'm sure a few of them like that with Kudus, but we get a couple more signings like that where Maddison walks into the change room and is like, shit, we've just signed him. He's a brilliant player. I can't wait to play alongside him.
yeah.
That's what we need. No more kids, no more, you know, players that have a high ceiling. Let's bring some ready-made players in who have done it at the highest level, whether that be international, Champions League, whatever. That's where I am with it.
Yeah, I'm the same, mate. Just get some quality in there. Get it in quick. Get a couple of deals done over the line. Give the manager half a chance. Do you know what I mean? At least make it look like now after this MGW saga that, you know, go and get a couple and mean business. Don't piss about. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Get it done. Make sure the player's happy. Get him in and get him out on that tour. Get him playing. You know what I mean? Give him half a chance.
Agreed, mate.
No, it's brilliant, mate. Thanks for joining us today. The chat. Thanks for you lot all being here. I know there's a lot of you that are regulars, and you're jumping on wherever we're jumping on now, and we appreciate that you're supporting us. Please keep doing that. Like I say, most days now there'll be something out on Nige's Pure Coys or there'll be something on the 2 marks between the 3 of us every day. Please keep an eye out, hit your notification bell, sub to both channels. And as always, Nige, thank you. And come on,
You Spurs.
you Spurs.
Lads down the lane with the purecoys.